guys, so in the last video we showed you how we built the first wall for the Bedford. In this one we're going to show you how we build the 3 remaining walls and then put them up so that it starts resembling something more of a camper van and less a pack of IKEA flat pack furniture. But first let's have a little recap on what we've been up to. Back in March we constructed an aluminium frame that would attach to the steel subframe and form the base of the walls. I painted the back of the Bedford before it would be covered by the front wall of the camper box, which we then built out of aluminium box section and sheets. Which brings us up to today.
The first step was to start cutting down the aluminium sheets to size, based on the dimensions from our SketchUp design.
We laid the subframe back onto the van to give us a bigger workspace. Then lay down the piece of aluminium angle that would form the base of the wall, followed by the sheets, ensuring that they all lay flush and then clamping them in place.
We dry fitted the length of corner pillar we had cut earlier to the part of the wall that would sit above the cab, clamping that in place too and marking where the pop rivets would go. We marked out each of the points for the pop rivets on the aluminium angle at intervals of 7 inches using our rivet stick for guidance. This was an important step as the pop rivets would be a design feature of the van, so accuracy mattered.
We drilled all of the holes, removed the aluminium angle, applied some polyurethane adhesive to it and stuck it back on, using the holes for guidance. Then we just had to pop rivet everything in place.
Finally, we moved on to the struts, which we also drilled, stuck with adhesive, and pop riveted into place.
We then left the adhesive to dry overnight so that we could flip the wall over in the morning and pop rivet it. Then we lay the wall flat.
2 free!
And began to attach the corner pillars to the edges of the wall. We cut the corners off of the pillars with an angle grinder to ensure they fit flush.
rail stays put.
Now that the left-hand wall was built and all of the corner pillars were attached to give us nice rounded corners, the only thing left to do was to build the right-hand wall. Before we could start assembling the box, we still had one last wall to build, as well as a door and a window to install. Using the same techniques as before, we had already half built the rear wall. It just needed some adhesive and some pot rivets to finish it off. Then it was time to install the door. We'd chosen a standard size caravan door which we would be revamping later. We began by measuring the outline of the door onto the wall. We created a template for the corners out of a spare piece of aluminium.
First, we cut a hole using a cutting disc on the angle grinder. Then we cut out the rest of the door with a sheet metal cutter.
Oh yeah!
Yeah.
All that was left was to build a support frame for the door and pot rivet it in place. For this we were using 2x1 aluminium box section. The last step was to install the window into the front wall. Today, we're finally putting up the walls on the Bedford. It has been weeks, maybe months, I don't know. We've been waiting for a windless day because obviously these walls are like, 3 metres long and any breath of wind is just going to push them over. So we finally got a windless day, it's sunny and we're going to put them up. Putting the walls up had been a fairly straightforward process requiring 4 people. 2 to hold the walls in place, 1 to drill and pop rivet them together, and 1 to fetch the tools and make the tea. It was just a simple case of pop riveting the sheets onto the corner pillars and attaching the aluminium angle to the subframe. Everything had fit together perfectly. That's us done for the day. We could not be happier to have these walls up finally after so many months in the making, and it's amazing to just see this project taking shape finally.